So, Melissa and Jen, can you introduce yourself? Tell our audience who you are and what you do.
My name's Jen Boyer. I do in-house IT for Butler-Till, and I'm also in charge of accounts payable.
My name is Melissa Palmer. I am a vice president. My responsibilities include finance, IT, HR, tax, insurance, essentially all of the administrative functions. Butler-Till has been around since 1998. Historically we've been thought of as a media buying, planning, and consulting firm, but in the recent few years we've really become much more than that, and we are dedicated to connecting our clients' brands and their products with the consumers, and the media landscape has changed immensely in the past few years. Not only do we have digital becoming a huge part of our revenue stream, but also made huge strides in the social media arena, and digital creative services has been a large part of our growth as well. We have a national client base. We have some large clients that are in the telecommunications industry, the insurance industry, the healthcare industry, also many clients in the not-for-profit arena. So we really run the gamut as far as our client base is concerned. Some of our larger clients have media budgets of tens of millions of dollars each year, while some of our smaller clients have obviously much smaller budgets of maybe $100,000, $200,000.
From the description of your clients, these are people that are pretty sophisticated. They use a lot of technology. A lot of what you do is based in technology, so it doesn't surprise me that you're working with Capstone and that you're a platinum managed services client of theirs. And you've actually been with Capstone for 8 years now, is that correct?
Capstone has always been part of Butler-Till for us.
One of the things that I thought would be very helpful for anybody listening to this call is to help them understand, because you actually haven't had a lot of technology problems because, frankly, you can't afford it. I mean, you are so connected to the technology that you use that you've put a lot of things in place. But when I was talking to Ron recently, he related a story that kind of helps illustrate the value of technology to you and the links that you've gone to really protect your clients' data, protect your ability to serve your clients. You put in a SAN, a storage area network. Now, Jen, can you tell us a little bit about that, about why you did that and why that was important?
We needed a place on site to store all our servers, and putting the information out in the cloud just wasn't feasible for us at this time. So we really depend on our SAN, and all of our information is just right at our fingertips.
So a SAN, for those people listening, it's a storage area network. And so that's running smoothly in the background. And at the same time, Capstone's managed services process is actually monitoring that 24/7, 365 days a year. And as I understand it, there was a Saturday when everything kind of fell apart. There were some technology breakdowns. Can you tell us a little bit about what happened?
2 or 3 of the drives failed, and 8 can fail before we have like catastrophic problems. So none of the employees noticed that anything happened.
Well, as a matter of fact, as I understand it, the notification came in over the weekend. So Ron was notified electronically over the weekend, was able to come in on a Saturday morning and fix this problem. So in many cases, what people don't recognize about that 24/7 service is that it works better than any human being can. I mean, nobody can be awake 365 days a year, 24/7. And so this was able to notify them in advance, and they could come in. But as I understand it, really nobody even noticed that it happened. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And so everybody's back to work. So, Melissa, if we look at your company, as I understand it, you really wouldn't have been able to do much of anything. You wouldn't have had email, access to documents, or whatever. And normally, this might take 3 days to a week to recover from this kind of problem, get all new equipment in, get all the data brought over. What would your employees be doing during this week?
Well, it would obviously have been a huge drain on productivity. There wouldn't have been a whole lot that our employees could do because we're extremely dependent on our data and our systems. Butler-Till, though, we do hold a special place in the industry where it's a very high-touch, high-service model. We collaborate all the time with our clients and our vendors. So I think there would have been a lot of people pounding the phones, making sure that our clients were aware of any potential missed deadlines and our vendors were aware of what was going on. But to your point, not a lot of work would have been done, and obviously there's a financial cost to that.
Well, Melissa, let's do the math a little bit for our audience listening. Now, everybody's payroll is going to be different, but let's just pick an average of $1,000 a week, and that might cover everybody from a receptionist up to a partner. But I think you said that you had around 70 employees, so you lose a week of work, then that's $70,000 if you don't have this system in place to protect your productivity and your ability to serve customers. Is that right?
From a productivity standpoint, exactly. Once again, we've got a really dedicated employee base, and we would have done everything that we possibly could have done to ensure that our clients' needs were met, but it certainly wouldn't have been as productive as when we have access to all of our systems and services.
What would you tell other businesses who are looking at this and wondering, do I really need to back things up? Do I really need to have this kind of 24/7 monitoring? You're a financial officer, so what would you tell them to be looking at when they're trying to determine whether they should make a technology investment? What guides you?
Well, I look at our relationship with Capstone as really like an insurance policy. We've been going through a huge growth phase, and we've had a couple of really significant corporate initiatives that we've just completed, and quite honestly, I've just completely relied on Jen and Ron to take care of all of the IT issues, and I don't even give it a second thought. So although I haven't been focused on IT per se, that's not an issue because I know that Ron and Jen have it covered, and I have no worries whatsoever. And that's a really nice place to be. There's enough to worry about, and kind of carving out an aspect and knowing that it's completely taken care of is very satisfying.
Now, Jen, as I understand, you're the person in the office that people come to when they can't figure out how to make technology work before they even call Ron. So tell me, how responsive is Ron and Capstone? How quickly can they solve your problems?
Ron is available all day for me. I usually email him, and if I don't hear from him within 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I call his cell phone if I need something immediately done. And he's just very quick. And they also have a helpline that I can call if he is unavailable, maybe if he's at another client.
How often are they actually able to do maintenance or work on the computers when you're not working? In other words, scheduling things, in a way, the worst thing that you can have is a technician in your office using your computer, keeping you from working. So how often can they do their work remotely?
Well, every night, Kaseya performs all maintenance updates and also updates some programs that we use like Adobe. And it's all done remotely. It's just scheduled maintenance. There's no downtime for any of our employees.
How many times has your network been down, or you not been able to use your computers?
I've been doing IT for about 3 years now, and we haven't had anything catastrophic like that.
Fabulous. So what's Ron like to work with, just as a person? I assume you have the most contact with him, Jen. What's he like as a human being?
Oh, he has got a great attitude, and he's very quick to please. He always wants to get issues resolved as quickly as possible. He's like me. He doesn't like to have an email in his inbox because that reminds him that he has things to do. He likes to keep that inbox clean, so he's very quick to do research for me, help me out in any way for problems that occur that he or I have never heard of. He's quick to jump on the internet and figure it out for me, so very nice to work with.
Great.
And if I could add something, we made this transition, as Jen mentioned, about 3 years ago, where there was another vice president that really had the IT functionality under his responsibility, and he was very, very technical, and he actually moved on to another agency, so it was transitioned over to our area. And Jen, I think you were pretty green at the time with respect to PC support, and I think the two of them together just make a great team, and Jen is just, she's done great over the past 3 years, and I think Ron's been a big asset as well. I think he's really, really helped you, Jen, and I think you guys should work great together.
What's Mike Fowler like to work with? As I understand it, he's more of the strategic vision for you. Maybe he's working more with you on that, Melissa, but there are a lot of people that can fix computers, but there are very few people who can look at your business and offer really strategic advice about where you need to be going next and what technology might support in that area. So what's Mike like in that regard?
Mike is extremely smart. We have strategic planning sessions a couple of times each year, and he has the perspective because he knows where we've been, and I think he's really the best person to tell us where we need to be going forward. And I think they really feel as though they're a partner in our business, and I know that they have our best interest at heart and want us to succeed as well. I think Capstone feels good about the fact that when they started with us, before my time as well, I think there were 3 or 4 employees, and now we're up to about 73 employees. So they're not just a vendor. I think we really feel like we're partners together. I think, as I said before, I look to our relationship with Capstone as an insurance policy. I really don't worry. As Jen mentioned, we haven't had any catastrophic downtime in the past several years, and I don't lose any sleep over that because I know if there is an issue, the infrastructure that they have in place, the monitoring infrastructure that they have in place, will know about it, and Ron and Mike Borlaug and the rest of the team will be on it, as well as Jen, and we'll get it fixed as soon as possible. Capstone was really instrumental. About 7 months ago, we moved from our facility, which was a really old house, to a brand new, larger facility. And once again, talk about really a seamless transition. Ron and his team came on a Friday afternoon and moved all of the PCs, all of the servers. We moved everything over to the new facility. They worked till very late on Friday evening. They worked all day Saturday. And when people came in on Monday morning, it was, once again, business as usual. And I think that was truly amazing. I don't know if a lot of businesses can say that an entire move went that smoothly. And to top it off, it was in February, so
wow.
The snow was flying, and but it was seamless. It was seamless. There was really no interruption to any of the employees. The employees just kind of put their peripherals, kind of tied them all together. Ron and his team moved everything, put it on a truck, and they worked throughout the entire weekend to make sure that we were up and running on Monday morning.
Wow. Anything from you, Jen?
Oh, it was just amazing. They were so dedicated. Mike Fowler was even involved. I believe they actually rode on the truck with the servers from start to finish. They told us what we needed to do to help them, and of course, it was wonderful.